This module is about opportunity recognition and based on that, idea generation, how we are going to generate the ideas. So the learning objectives are that by the end of this lecture, the students, they will be able to identify real world problems that can become business opportunities. Like what are the problems? Then generate technology-based startup ideas, recognize emerging industry opportunities, evaluate entrepreneurial opportunities, and then understand different ways to start a new venture. So opportunity recognition क्या होती है? It's the process of discovering business ideas with market potential. ऐसे ideas जो कि कुछ business potential रखते हैं, जिनमें you can get some good traction, तो उसको हम कहते हैं opportunity recognition. There are going to come a lot of ideas in your brain, लेकिन उसमें से opportunity में फिर आप उसको convert करेंगे जिसमें potential बहुत ज़्यादा है. So entrepreneurs कैसे identify करते हैं opportunities को? This is what you have to do. You have to observe the problems. You have to analyze the market needs. So first you are going to see what are the problems. So you are probably going to come up with multiple type of problems. So after seeing those problems, you are going to analyze their market needs, how much they could be in demand. And then you're going to explore technological innovations as well. Already इस पे कितना काम हो चुका हुआ है, and इसके लिए जो मुझे मजीद कुछ टेक्नो, because we are talking about the technology entrepreneurship, so we are going to try to find technological solutions. So उसके लिए हमारे पास technology कितनी available है, because sometime ये होता है कि you come up with a problem जिसके लिए भी technology available ही नहीं है. So yes, obviously you are not going to do that thing. Then identifying unmet customer demands. तो कई ऐसी होती हैं कि जो already existing products हैं, but उसके अंदर बहुत सारी जो है customer की demands जो unmet है. So you can even figure them out and you can convert that into an opportunity. So opportunity find करने का process क्या होता है जी? सबसे पहले you are going to identify the problem. Then you are going to generate an idea based onto that, and then you are going to evaluate that opportunity. If you find that yes, that opportunity is good, so you're going to build a business model based onto that, and then you are going to create a startup. ये हमारा journey भी इसी तरह होगा. We are going to have the problems identified. We will generate ideas, multiple ideas, and then after those ideas, we are going to convert them into an opportunity based on the evaluation. तो जो भी अब हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी लग रही होगी, वी आर गोइंग टू बिल्ड मल्टीपल थिंग्स अराउंड दैट. हम उसका फाइनेंशियल प्लान्स बनाएंगे, हम उसके मार्केटिंग प्लान्स बनाएंगे, हम उसके फाइनेंशियल्स को देखेंगे, हम उसके एनालिसिस करेंगे, एंड देन इवेंचुअली वी आर गोइंग टू बिल्ड अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बिजनेस मॉडल. और उस बिजनेस मॉडल की बेसिस के ऊपर वी आर गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ स्टार्टअप. If you are going to identify the opportunity, so it involves multiple aspects to consider. Like you have to see that whether the idea has a market demand, customer they genuinely need this solution or not. So एक वो चीज होती है जो कि हमारी assumption होती है कि we think yes, the customer needs that. Okay, that comes first in your mind, but then you have to genuinely assess through different techniques. We'll see those techniques later. कि आप उनको देखते हुए you are going to assess whether there is a market demand or not. The other thing is whether there is a competitive advantage or not. So competition exist करता है या नहीं करता, ये बिल्कुल ही market open है, कोई competitor ही नहीं है. अगर कोई competitor नहीं है तो there is always a big question mark as well, because why the people they are not addressing it like this, so there might be some big challenges. तो वो एक बड़ा red flag होता है आपके लिए. But it doesn't mean कि अब बाकियों ने नहीं किया तो हमने नहीं करना. Obviously anything which comes first पहले उससे किसी ने नहीं किया होती. तो ये भी नहीं है, ये पैसिमिस्टिक होता है कि हमने बिल्कुल तो क्योंकि बाकियों ने नहीं किया तो हमने भी नहीं करना. But it's a red flag in a way कि that you need to be considerate about this, कि और बहुत ज़्यादा cautious हो जाना पड़ता है कि अच्छा बाकियों ने नहीं किया तो फिर इसको ज़रा केयरफुली देखें कि क्यों नहीं किया. और अब बाकियों ने अगर किया है and there is a competition, so is there a room available and what sort of room available कि मैं इसको मोल्ड करके, मॉडिफाई करके या इम्प्रूव करके कैसे मैं मार्केट में प्लेस हो सकता हूँ. देन स्केलेबिलिटी, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एक प्रॉब्लम है, उसकी कोई स्केलेबिलिटी इतनी नहीं है. आप जब टारगेट करेंगे तो वो ठीक है, वो टारगेट हो जाएगी एक लोकल उसके लिए. इज इट स्केलेबल? क्या आप उसको रेप्लिकेट करके स्केलेबल या उसी को बढ़ा के आप स्केलेबल कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते. देन फाइनेंशियल फिजिबिलिटी और स्केलेबिलिटी की बहुत सारी आप देख सकते हैं. लाइक एक बिजनेस आप स्टार्ट करना चाह रहे हैं, सो एक अच्छा बिजनेस है जो पाकिस्तान में चल गया, क्या वो बिजनेस किसी और मुल्क में भी चल सकता है? इफ इट इज, सो यस इट्स हाईली स्केलेबल। देन फाइनेंशियल फिजिबिलिटी, बिजनेस जो है वो फाइनेंशियली फीजिबल वायबल है या नहीं है, यू नीड टू सी दैट। अच्छा, स्केलेबिलिटी में एक इंटरेस्टिंग एक और एग्जांपल दूं, लाइक यू आर बिल्डिंग एन लैंग्वेज इंजन, और वो लैंग्वेज इंजन जो है इफ इट इज टारगेटिंग लैंग्वेज विच इज स्पोकन, लेट्स से मालय पे आप कर रहे हैं, तो मालय जो है इट्स ओनली बीन स्पोकन इन मलेशिया, सो एक लिमिटेड पॉपुलेशन को टारगेट करेगी। मालदीव में आई डोंट नो कौन सी लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, व्हाटएवर दे आर स्पीकिंग, अगर वो लोकल इंडिजिनस लैंग्वेज है, सो मालदीव की आबादी जो इट्स वेरी वेरी लिमिटेड, सो यू माइट नॉट बी एबल टू स्किल दैट मच। इंग्लिश में कोई चीज करेंगे, ऑब्वियसली कंपटीशन इज टू मच, तो वो शायद आपको तो मार्जिन ही नहीं मिल रहा होगा। बट यू कैन डू इन स्पेनिश, यू कैन डू इन फ्रेंच, यू कैन बी चाइनीज, काफी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन जो हैं दे स्पीक दीज लैंग्वेजेस। एंड देन कम्स उर्दू की, आपको पता है काफी ज्यादा अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, हिंदी की बहुत बड़ी मार्केट है, सो यू कैन वर्क इनटू दैट, सो दे आर मोर स्केलेबल। फाइनेंशियल फिजिबिलिटी के जी, बिजनेस फाइनेंशियली वायबल भी है, सस्टेन भी करेगा, रेवेन्यू देगा, देन प्रॉफिट्स देगा। एंड देन टेक्नोलॉजिकल फिजिबिलिटी के टेक्नोलॉजी अवेलेबल है जो कि इस तरह के सॉल्यूशंस को जो है वो डिलीवर कर सके। फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू गो बैक 15 साल पहले चले जाएं, सो द इंटरनेट स्पीड वाज लो, सो देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ आइडियाज जो कि आपके इसलिए नहीं हो सकते थे बिकॉज द इंटरनेट स्पीड वाज लो। 3G, 4G, 4G नेटवर्क्स, 4G वाज अ बिग एनेबलर, जिसने बहुत सारे नए बिजनेसेस को, नई चीजों को जो है ना एनेबल किया। And then now we are going to have Pakistan, maybe we are going to have the 5G. We got the auction yesterday or day before yesterday, and then we're going to have now 5G available within 6 months probably. So it's going to bring many new opportunity, and you can even think, and I would suggest you to please dig it down and see even today, okay, what sort of businesses can be harnessed with the 5G spectrum, which were not possible with the 4G, or which were facing challenges with the 4G technology. Please see this one as a home task. Then problem identification. Startups जो हैं, they always start with the problem identification. And problem कब होता है एक किसी भी चीज के अंदर जिसको आपने देखना है, it arises when existing solutions are inefficient, कि जो आपका जो existing solution है वो पूरी requirements पूरी नहीं कर पा रहा या ठीक नहीं है. Then customers, they experience frustrations, or processes are very expensive or slow. So you can come up with new process. Even existing solution is probably providing a solution, but they are very expensive. And it can happen anywhere, and even in the warfare as well. Like you have seen recently, you are having a conflict between two countries. Or in a country, they are sending very cheap drones and all that. And in order to destroy those drones, the other very powerful country is actually firing the missiles or using a system which is very, very expensive. So you need to figure out these problems. And then technology, it can improve the efficiency. So you need to see this. So what you are going to do is you are going to, how you are going to convert all this into a business opportunity. You are going to analyze the market gaps. You're going to understand the customer needs. You are going to figure out the technological possibilities. So by having all this mixture, you are going to create business opportunity. सो मेथड्स क्या हो सकते हैं जी कि आपने आइडेंटिफाई करने हैं प्रॉब्लम्स को. प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन के लिए a very important thing is observation. We already talked about this, that you need to be good observant. So you are going to identify the inefficiencies in the daily life, in the problems around you. You have to figure out the problem by having a good observation. Keep observing your own day-to-day activity, your surrounding, your environment, and you will come up with so many inefficiencies. And this is what you have to do. Actually, we are going to give you this task as well, to try to figure out at least 5 opportunities around you that you think that there should be some problem. And you can come up with not only with the technological solutions, you can come up with other solutions as well. You're not going to, okay, let's say fix it for this thing. The only technology based solution should be there. It could be other non-technological based solution as well. Like it would be better like you if you come up with 2, 3 at least technology based solutions. Then and I'm talking about different problems, not one problem. For one problem you can come up with multiple solutions, yes, but I'm talking about identifying 5 different problems at least. Then customer interviews, they are very important, but customer interviews comes once you see the problems. Yes, usually you do at that time. But in order to find the problems, you can also conduct the interviews with the people, with the users, with the people surrounding you. इसकी typical example ये है कि let's say okay you are going to start this, so why not to start with your colleagues जो आपके साथ हैं, जो आपके दोस्त हैं, जो fellow students हैं, start working them कि okay what sort of problem you face every day, what sort of problem you face once you're coming to the university, what are the challenges, what are your frustrations. Actually try to figure out the frustrations that okay you have to come to the university, so what are the frustration, okay he or she is going to tell you oh maine assignment nahi kiya, that's not the frustration, that's a different thing. Okay yes, that could be that is a frustration, but I'm right now the perspective in my mind is reaching to the university. So discuss with him or her that I'm talking in terms of uh, reaching out to the university and going back from university back to your home. So what are your frustrations? What are the challenges? And you will come up with multiple problems, and then eventually you can come up with multiple solutions in order to resolve those problems. Okay, do this exercise. Then you will, or you can change your mind and you can say, okay, now talk about the university problem. So you were saying, okay, you missed the assignment or you not submit your assignment or something, you're facing some challenge. So what sort of challenge you are facing? So he or she is probably going to tell you, oh, boy, I forgot to submit the assignment, or I forgot that there is an assignment pending. So, okay, now it means that the person was willing to do the assignment, but the problem is he or she has actually missed it because कि उसको याद नहीं रहा. So what you can do is, again, you can come up with a problem. Okay, solution. तो solution आ दें, कोई reminder app बना लें, कुछ ऐसा काम कर लें, या existing system के अंदर embed कर दें कि it's going to send reminders. Let's say existing system reminder भेजता है, आपको पता लगा जी reminder तो जाते हैं, but those reminders are being sent on to the application. तो वो application में जब log in करेगा तो उसको reminder आएगा, otherwise वो reminder आता नहीं है. Let's say Moodle की बात करें तो Moodle पे login होगा तो फिर वो reminder आएगा, otherwise नहीं आएगा. So what you can do is you can augment that Moodle. It's already an open source software, and you can build an application with that. And you can send reminders through SMS or WhatsApp messages, or you can build an app onto the student for the student's phone, and the reminders appear over there onto their phone. So this is how you can try to solve the problems. So this is very important that okay, keep observing, but you can also start okay मैंने तो problem को figure out करना है, so let's start with this. So I would strongly advise you कि immediately जिन लोगों को आप कर सकते हैं, 3-4 types के लोग हैं जिन्हें करें, 2 को तो लाजमी करें. एक number 1, try to figure out the problem facing by your fellow students. Number 2, number 3 पे teachers आ गए, आप teacher से भी पूछ सकते हैं, they are available. But number 2, people at your home. ठीक है, बहन भाई भी हैं, but they might be facing similar type of problems. Ask your parents. ठीक है, इसका एक बड़ी interesting side बताऊं कि it's going to also increase the empathy between you and them as well, and they will know कि अच्छा okay you're working, you're doing something, and also increasing empathy कि okay the kid is considerate about our problem. And maybe you get surprised that some of the problem you're not realizing even that they are facing those challenges. It could be financial problem as well, how to do the financial management. It could be how to reaching out to the university. And you would be surprised it sometimes happen that your parent or your father, maybe if he's working only in your family, so he's sending you, especially to the daughters, on some cab or something or a rickshaw, and paying a hefty amount of money, and he himself is going on public transport by taking a lot of time because of the financial constraints. So please discuss with them and try to figure out their problems and all this. Then you have to find a market, do the market research. You can have open-ended question. You can float the surveys. You got some very broader problem. So within a broader problem area, you are trying to figure out the problems. So what problems are there? So you can do the market research. And the typical method could be interviewing or could be launching the surveys. Then you have to do the competitor analysis के जो आपके existing products हैं उनके अंदर क्या problems हैं, gaps क्या हैं उनके अंदर जो कि मौजूद हैं, and then look at the technology trends के नई opportunities और ये जो भी technology से चीजें आ सकती हैं वो कौन कौन सी हैं. You can solve many problems using technology, since we are discussing in this course, focusing more onto the technology entrepreneurship, so we would be certainly looking for this aspect that technology plays a very critical and a crucial role in modern entrepreneurship. If you look at the entrepreneurial startups which are arising, most of them, they are technology based. And so you can figure out what sort of problems are there. For example, it could be that there are manual processes in an organization or in related to a particular problem. So what you can do is you can come up with an automation software. Transportation inefficiencies are there, so we already got that. There are ride-hailing services, and there could be other type of transportation inefficiencies as well, like we did, I think, discuss yesterday or in the session before. Then limited access to the education. Okay, you now got the online education available. You are sitting in for area in a small rural area, but you do have an access to the online platforms. Then payment difficulties. We do have now the digital payment systems available. So how to get the startup idea? Yeah, this is very important. So isko hum dekh lete hain, and then after this section we will close this topic for today. Start with the problem, not product. Okay, this is the first thing that you need to keep in your mind. ये नहीं है कि पहले आपने प्रोडक्ट सोच लिया, अब आप प्रोडक्ट बनाने का कर रहे हैं और प्रॉब्लम को आपने देखे नहीं है. तो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट विद आइडेंटिफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम. उस प्रॉब्लम के लिए प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस बनेगी, नॉट प्रोडक्ट के लिए आप प्रॉब्लम ढूंढ रहे होंगे. सो यू हैव टू आस्क योरसेल्फ कि व्हाट फ्रस्ट्रेट्स you daily or the other people, what tasks are time consuming or inefficient, what services are expensive but shouldn't be, because this is how you can reduce the pricing, or even you can figure out which services are the features they are essential or which are not needed, and what do people constantly complain about, किस चीज के मतलब लोग complain ज्यादा होती है, so you can figure that out. For example, ride hailing service use कर रहे हैं, so they would be saying कि जी अच्छा जी ये expensive है. So what you can do is try to reduce the price. So how you are going to reduce the price? You can come up with a feature like ride sharing. दो लोग एक ही एरिया के करीब से जा रहे हैं, so you can figure it out. So it's going to certainly increase the business probably for the company. जरूरी नहीं है कि उसके लिए काम कर रहा है, ज्यादा हो सकता है. Example, ride hailing platform emerged because people struggle with unreliable taxi service. तो reliability नहीं है, कुछ और प्रॉब्लम है. एक टैक्सी सर्विस है जो कि रिलायबल नहीं है, ठीक है. तो दूसरी जो सर्विस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा रिलायबल है, तो उसको अगर थोड़ी सी एक्सपेंसिव भी होगी तो पीपल दे आर गोइंग टू probably pay for that. Then observe your environment. This is very important because entrepreneurs, they need to be keen observers. And where to observe? You have to observe everywhere or everywhere in your environment. So you can observe in the university, while traveling on the roadside you can observe, in the hospitals, in the small businesses, government services, other day-to-day matters, at your home, even in your society, in the housing society where you are living in, and then in general in your social society as well. So when an opportunity exists when there is inconvenience. Okay, there are pain points. People, they have the pain points, and they want to have an improvement. Yes, if the people, they are very happy customer, it becomes very challenging if you are trying to introduce new features. Yes, still you can introduce new features or new things. So if there is inconvenience, opportunity is there. If there is a delay, opportunity is there. There is inefficiency, there is a dissatisfaction. So there are always going to be opportunities there. So what sort of techniques we can use for generating startup ideas? We can do a variety of types of techniques. One of the most important is brainstorming. What is brainstorming? I think all of you know that you sit together, a group of people, they sit together, and then they try to figure out whether they are identifying the problems or they're trying to come up with the solutions. So they talk with each other, they discuss the ideas, and then they generate multiple type of ideas. Then scamper technique, very famous technique, which is used to modify existing products. We'll see this technique in detail later. And then design thinking, very famous technique these days. It's a human-centered technique which focuses on from the ideation till the problem solving. Then we do have a complete module onto design thinking. Then customer feedback. So what are the unmet needs of the customer? You need to identify that. What are their frustrations, why they are unhappy, or why they are finding it inefficient. And then trend analysis. What sort of emerging markets are there. For example, if we talk in terms of technology, so there are a lot of opportunities in the areas of blockchain, in the area of artificial intelligence, in the cybersecurity. So we can figure it out like there can be a lot of problems arising into this area. That's why it is an emerging market. So scamper technique, we use it to modify existing products. So scamper stands for as for substitute, then combine, then adopt, then modify, then put to another use, then eliminate, and then reverse. So we do enhance something, or we modify an existing model by using the scamper technique, and we improve that. We'll see this in the next module. So example is that you do have a food business. So what you did is you introduce a subscription model with the food. So now you have a meal subscription startup. Another thing for ideation is that solve your own problem. Start with your own thing, like what sort of problems you are facing, and then you can ask the fellows about whether they are facing the similar problem or not. So you can start with that. So many famous startups, they started this way. Brian Chesky, he started Airbnb, which is a very famous startup because he could not afford the rent. So he needed someone where he can stay, and the people, वो जो होता है आपका पेइंग गेस्ट का, होम पेइंग गेस्ट का, तो होम पेइंग गेस्ट के सिलसिले में ये था कि ओके ही कैन स्टे विद समवन फॉर सम टाइम एंड देन दे थ्रो हिम आउट एंड देन ही हैज टू गो टू समवेयर एल्स. तो उसने प्रॉब्लम कर लिया कि ओके व्हाई नॉट टू हैव अ रेंटल सर्विस सो दैट आई कैन नो कि कौन जो है अपना एज अ पेइंग गेस्ट जो है वो रेंट कर रहा है. Then Mark Zuckerberg, he built Facebook to connect his own college students, and now it's one of the biggest social platform. So if you face a problem, chances are that the others they do too. और वहीं से आप स्टार्ट कर लें और फिर बाकियों से आप इंटरव्यू करें, उनसे पूछें. So they are going to tell you. So look at the trend. Trends, they create opportunity. Yes, if there is a trend of AI and automation, look at that, keep an eye on to that. इसी तरह बहुत सारे ट्रेंड्स हैं जो कि इस वक्त हैं, लाइक क्लाइमेट टेक में है, रिमोट वर्क टूल्स में है, हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस में बहुत ज़्यादा काम हो रहा है बिकॉज दिस इज अ ग्लोबल चैलेंज. बहुत ज़्यादा लोग जो हैं दे आर फेसिंग हेल्थ रिलेटेड इश्यूज, वेलनेस रिलेटेड इश्यूज. यूएस के अंदर ओबेसिटी लेवल इज़ वेरी हाई. यूएस इज अ बिग बिग कंज्यूमर मार्केट, तो वहाँ पे तो बहुत ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं. देन एट टेक, यू ऑलरेडी नो कि एजुकेशनल लैंडस्केप इज चेंजिंग बाय फास्ट. यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे और हायर एजुकेशन और टेक्निकल स्किल बेस्ड पे तो बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज हो चुका है. A lot of online models are there, a lot of asynchronous learning models are there, and then even at the school level it's changing. And then fintech के अंदर तो there are already a lot of changes. जो financial typical sector होता था, it already has become fintech. So when the technology changes, opportunities they always emerge. You can improve existing business, so you don't always need to have a brand new idea और बिल्कुल कोई नई चीज को आप लेकर आए. So ask yourself कि ये जो existing business है, can this service be faster? For example, banking transaction है, can you do an automated banking transaction? Can it become cheaper? Can it be digital? Can it be more convenient? So you can do a lot of things and you can convert. इसकी example, traditional grocery store है, so you convert it onto online grocery app. Like we said you कि online grocery तो फिर different होता है, like you do have markets in your own housing society. So what you can do is you can build an app और वहाँ से you can uh, uh, just order it from there and it's going to be delivered within a short period of time. Talk to the people, which is very important. This is called customer discovery. Conduct informal. Conduct informal interviews with your customers and उनके साथ आपने check करना है कि what's their biggest challenge, what sort of softwares they hate using, or what things they do not like, what frustrates them. So you are going to ask them these things and what they want to have in any product or in anything. So they will come once you are going to listen them carefully. So customer discovery is a very important. Again, we are going to have a complete module on this. Then identify skill-based opportunities. Ask yourself कि आप किस में बेहतर हैं? What am I good at? और आपकी अपनी expertise क्या है? और क्या network मेरा already है और उससे मैं क्या चीज़ें harness कर सकता हूँ? किन चीज़ों की मुझे access है? So you can think about this. So if you are in academia, like you are a student in computing, Opportunities may exist. You can easily figure it out. For example, you are a student, so you know about the education. You know about the things that you are facing as a student. Like there are certain problems, let's say with the Moodle, and Moodle is not doing something, so you can come up with the ideas how to improve that. And Moodle brings a lot of opportunities since it's an open source, so you can really augment the Moodle. So edtech platforms के अंदर इंटर्नशिप मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स कर सकते हैं, एआई बेस्ड लर्निंग टूल्स कर सकते हैं, करियर गाइडेंस पोर्टल्स बना सकते हैं, एलुमनाई मैनेजमेंट के लिए आप पोर्टल्स बना सकते हैं. You can do a lot of things in the university. You are going to figure out so many problems which you can really address. And look at emerging markets. For example, there could be a good emergence in the rural market, and you can see in the underserved communities, जो ऐसी neglected communities हैं, उनके अंदर there could be a lot of challenges. आप उसमें जा सकते हैं, ये जो कच्ची आबादी होती है, and you can figure out a lot of problems which those people are facing, and you can try to find out the solutions. And then in the developing economies, इनमें तो बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं challenges और बहुत ज़्यादा opportunities available होती हैं. And then niche customer segments के अंदर you can try to figure out. You have to use the idea formula, which means that how the opportunity comes. You have to figure out the problem with the people, and then with the purchasing power. This is going to tell you what sort of opportunity is there. Purchasing power is going to tell you the financials, कि जी financial capacity कितनी है. More the number of people, वो जो financials है, उसका impact ज़्यादा आ जाएगा, और फिर उसके साथ आपने problem को देखा. If a problem affects many people, अगर थोड़ों को कर रहा है तो फिर शायद उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटी बहुत बड़ी नहीं है, ठीक है. If it affects many people, और उसका जो पेन लेवल है वो काफी ज्यादा है, it really causes real pain, and the people are really willing to pay to solve it. तो ये सारी चीजें आपने देखनी है. Yes, it's a big pain problem, affects a lot of people, but people are not willing to pay because since it's an expensive solution, तो वो उसके लिए पे करने को तैयार नहीं होंगे, तो then it's not an opportunity, it will be a problem. लोग पे भी करना चाहते हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों को इफेक्ट भी करता है, लेकिन उनको ऐसा पेन नहीं है. व्हाई पीपल शुड मूव ऑन टू दैट, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है. और इसी तरह प्रॉब्लम भी ज्यादा है, लोग पे भी करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन इतने ज्यादा लोग नहीं है, तो देन अगेन दिस माइट नॉट बी अ बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी. सो यू हैव टू see all these things to have a viable startup idea. So sources क्या क्या हो सकती हैं जी startup ideas की? You can have a personal experience, so which you face every day in your life. You can have work experience, जो workplace के ऊपर होती है आपकी. Then you can have technological research, पढ़ें उसको, देखें कहाँ कहाँ क्या क्या problem हो रहा है, नई innovations क्या हैं और नई discoveries क्या हैं और क्या problems identify किए जा रहे हैं. Then what sort of customer complaints are there, की dissatisfactions को identify करें. You can do a typical academic research. You can look at what universities are working at, because generally universities are at the front line in terms of research. Then government policies कोई नई आ गई हैं, कोई government incentives दे दी हैं, या कोई even ban कर दी हैं, उसकी वजह से नए incentives create हो सकते हैं. Then there are market gaps. तो customer की कोई ऐसी चीजें हैं जो कि कोई ऐसी wish हैं which are unserved. And then there are global trends कि जी अच्छा जी अमेरिका में काम शुरू हो गया है, बाकी कहीं हो चुका है, तो यहाँ भी हो सकता है. This is very common. इसको देख के तो you can come up with so many ideas. And then social problems, जो आपकी कोई भी social entrepreneurship opportunities हैं, you can come out with that. ठीक है जी. तो ट्रेंड एंड इमर्जिंग इंडस्ट्रीज जो हैं, उनकी हमने कुछ बात पहले भी की थी. उसमें मेजर क्या है जी आपकी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड ऑटोमेशन है, फिनटेक, एडटेक, हेल्थ में बहुत ज़्यादा काम है, ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी में, साइबर सिक्योरिटी में, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग में, ब्लॉकचेन में, रोबोटिक्स में, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी एरियाज जहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं. What you should not to do. तो ये जो सारे तरीके थे, they were for how you are going to identify the idea और opportunities कैसे निकालेंगे और कैसे वो करेंगे. But you should keep considerate कि you should not do. Don't start with I want to be rich. आपका एम सिर्फ ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि जी अच्छा जी मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा कमा लेना है और मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा rich होना है. दूसरा, जो दूसरों ने किया है उसी तरीके से I am going to do that thing. So don't copy blindly. Okay? और अगर बाकियों ने किया था, एक तो आपने कॉपी करने की कोशिश की, दूसरा यू स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग विदाउट वैलिडेटिंग द थिंग. आपको लगा कि जनाब इस चीज की नीड है, तो उस लगने में ही आपने जनाब उसको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करना शुरू किया. डोंट डू दैट. डू अ कंप्लीट मार्केट रिसर्च, डू द कस्टमर डिस्कवरी, डू अ कंप्लीट मार्केट एनालिसिस, फाइनेंशियल फीजिबिलिटी, डू क्रिएट ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंड देन स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग विद दैट. And don't assume that people will certainly pay. It's not very easy to extract money out of the people's pocket. ठीक है जी। तो ये नहीं होता आपने अब क्योंकि जी प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छी थी मैंने बना ली तो फिर लोग पे भी करेंगे, इवन डू यू डू हैव अ गुड मार्केट आउटरीच एंड ऑल दैट, लेकिन इट टेक्स सम टाइम। ठीक है जी। सो यू आर गोइंग टू राइट ओके 10 डेली फ्रस्ट्रेशंस, इसमें से आधी आप जो है ना वो कर लें जो टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू आप सॉल्व करेंगे या ट्रेडिशनल करेंगे, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन यू, यू कैन हैव अ मिक्सचर ऑफ दैट थिंग। ऑन डेली फ्रस्ट्रेशंस में से 3 प्रॉब्लम्स अब आपने आइडेंटिफाई करने हैं जो मेन होंगे। आई सेड यू के 5 कर लें, चलें आप 3 कर लें। 3 प्रॉब्लम्स करें जो कि लोगों को अफेक्ट करते हैं और फिर हर प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस करने के लिए यू आर गोइंग टू इंटरव्यू 5 पीपल एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू आर गोइंग टू रिफाइन दोस आइडियाज। ठीक है कि जी अच्छा जी क्या प्रॉब्लम है और उसकी बेस पे मैं कैसे उसको रिजॉल्व करूंगा। ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू डू।
Now look at the startup ideas. We are going to see that what could be the startup ideas and how we are going to validate those startup ideas. So, how to select the right startup ideas? The startup ideas are discovered at the intersection of multiple things. So, we have to see that what are the problems which are occurring there. Then, we are going to see the skills that are required to solve that problem. Then, what are the trends? Are the trends growing or going towards that side? Then, we are going to see the passion among us as the entrepreneur and also the passion among the customer so that they could be excited about your product or service or going to be willing to pay for your product. And then we are going to see like how much is the market demand. Okay, there could be a market demand which might be very low though, so that might not be a very interesting thing for you. But if the market demand is high or let's say moderate as well, so that can be an interesting thing for you. So then you evaluate the ideas based on so many things, like you see that how much is the severity with the problem, how much market size is there. Like I said you before, this is very important. Like you need to see that how much big is the market size. Then what sort of competitions are there? It depends upon like whether the product already exists or the similar type of product exists, what sort of a disruption you are creating, what difference you are bringing in. Then what is going to be your revenue model, how you're going to earn money from that and how the customers they are going to pay for that. Then what are the technical feasibility, because you need to see like what sort of technologies are available for your product and how much technically it is viable to build that product and make it sustainable. And then your personal skills and interests, which are really very very important, because that is going to keep you motivating for your startup. If we discuss about the startup ideas, you can come up with so many different types of ideas. Like if you talk about your own as a student on campus-based solutions, we can have a very good smart attendance tracking app, which can track your attendance. Then we can have peer tutoring marketplace where you can tutor your peers and anyone can be there. It might be some other student from another university as well. Then internship and FYP matching platforms. Then we organize a lot of events in the campus, so you can have a campus event management app. Then a notes and study material marketplace, so you can build a marketplace where the students they can share their notes or other study materials, so that the other students they can get benefit, and these students they can probably get some monetary reward out of that. Then similarly, you can have an affordable printing and binding services as well, because the students they come up with a lot of such submissions which require these services. Then student laundry pickup and delivery service. Similarly, you can have a hostel room maintenance app where the students they can request the maintenance services for their room maintenance. Then student ride sharing service, which is really could be very interesting, because the students they come from far areas and it could be very expensive for them if they are going to individually opt for a ride. So what they can do is they can have a ride sharing. Then campus lost and found digital platform as well, where the students they can put the items that are being found or the items they have lost. Similarly, in the tech and digital sphere, we can have our AI resume builder for the students. Then interview preparation platform, a platform which is going to prepare students for the interview, and it can be a chatbot based or it can be an avatar based, could be anything. Then for computer science students, we can have a coding boot camp for the beginners, or even to the graduating students who can further enhance their coding skills. Then you can have a website development agency, and the small websites can be built by these guys. And then mobile app development studio, then cybersecurity consulting for SMEs. You can have an AI chatbot development service, then cloud migration services for SMEs, and then SaaS tools for small retailers, and then online exam proctoring system. And this has really been needed since, like we have moved a lot onto the online based education. So affordable and scalable online exam proctoring systems are really been needed. Then, very specifically, AI-based tools. If you talk about them, we can have an AI-based assignment assistant, which can help you in assignments and which can actually help you checking the assignments as well. Similarly, AI career counseling platform, because in the university it becomes very challenging keeping in view the large number of students to do the counseling all the times to the students. And this counseling could be anyone. It could be career counseling, and it can be other counseling as well. Then AI-powered mental health chat support, so you can have that. AI crop disease detection app, then research paper summarizer, because as a graduate student, we have to go through a lot of research papers. We study a lot of research paper, and as a researcher, it's the same thing. So what we can have is we do have a research paper summarizer who is going to tell us very good research insight, whatever we found inside the paper. Then we do have AI code review tool, which is going to review our code and going to figure out the problems within the code in any terms. Then AI resume and interview coach, AI-based plagiarism detection tool, then AI study planner app, AI content creation service, AI-based market research tool, AI language translation tool. So we can have all these tools and available to, to the community. Then, if you talk about e-commerce and services, we can have customized merchandise printing. We can have a handmade craft marketplace. We can have organic food delivery service. We can have healthy tiffin subscription for the students. We can have a drop shipping store. We can have campus thrift store. Then rental marketplace for the gadgets, where the people they can place their gadgets, and the other one they can rent those gadgets. Then event photography service, social media marketing agency, then freelancing collective platform. Then, if we talk about the social and impact area, where we can have a lot of projects in that side, skill development program for underprivileged youth. We can have waste recycling initiative on campus. We can have sustainable packaging startups. Then we can have affordable solar solutions. We can have mental health awareness platform. Then we can have women entrepreneurship support network. We can have community skill sharing platform. We can have blood donor matching app. We can have financial literacy platform for students, and then obviously rural e-commerce platform. So these are the different types of areas, and the list could be even too much exhaustive. So as a learner or as an enthusiast, you need to explore more and more and try to figure out a problem which really actually fancies you as well, and then you can work onto that. Do you have a passion to solve that problem? Now let's talk about the next area. So let's talk about the startup idea validation framework, how we are going to validate our startup idea. So this is just a few step-based idea validation framework, which you can see and you can use to validate your ideas. So this startup idea validation framework consists of 10 steps. The first step is you have to clearly define the problem. What sort of problems you're working on. So you have to define that. Then you're going to define your target customers. After defining the customers, you're going to conduct customer discovery interviews in step 3. Then in step 4, you are going to evaluate the market demands. And then Step five, you're going to define your unique value proposition, like what is the uniqueness in terms of features in your product or service. Then in step six, you are going to build a minimal viable product and you're going to build an MVP. Then in step seven, you're going to test the willingness of your customers, that how much they can pay. In step eight, you're going to measure the key matrices. And in step nine, you're going to get the feedback, you're going to analyze, and then eventually you're going to iterate your product or service. And then in step 10, once that whole process is done, you're going to test the scalability of your product. So let's see all of these steps one by one. So step one, in step one, what we are going to do is we are going to clearly define the problem. So the objective of this step is that you are going to ensure that your problem is real and it's really painful and it's occurring frequently. These are all needed because if the problem is not genuinely there, then there is a problem. And if it is not painful, so probably the customers are not going to be willing to pay. And if it is not frequent, so it might mean that the market size could not be that much big, which is really been needed eventually for your financials and all that thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to ask that who exactly has this problem, like who are the customers who have this problem, and then you're going to ask like how much frequently it is occurring, and then you're going to see that how do they currently solve this problem, and you're also going to evaluate that how painful that problem is on any scale. It could be 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 scale. Then output is going to be that you are going to come up with a very clear problem statement. For example, like the university students, they struggle to find verified internships quickly and easily. So if you look at here, there could be multiple type of problem. One problem could be, okay, it's difficult to find internships. The other problem could be it's not very quick and easy. Another could be like either they are verified or not. So like within this one statement you can come up with multiple problems and you can work onto that. And you need to see that if the problem is vague, you're going to refine it, you're going to reiterate, and then you are going to refine your problem. Once the problem is defined, then you are going to define your target customers. You're not going to say, okay, everyone is going to do that. So you need to identify who are your target customers. And most important in identification of a customer is to identify their demographics. So you're going to identify so which age group they belong to, which gender they belong to, what are the locations of your target customers, what is their probably education level as well, their expertise, then their profession, what are the income levels, because depending on the product, you can be targeting different types of customers, and what are their behavioral patterns. So you are going to identify the customers. For example, third and fourth year students in the urban universities, they would be seeking internships. First and the second year students probably won't be that much interested in internships. So now you're going to target specifically to the third and the fourth year university students, not the first and the second year students. Once you have identified the customers, you are going to conduct customer discovery interviews. So you are going to interview at least 10 to 20 or 30 potential users who could use your product. So you can ask some open-ended questions to them. For example, what is your biggest challenge regarding this type of problem or this thing? So once they are going to tell you, then you're going to ask them that how do you solve it right now, like how you come up with the solutions. And then you're going to ask, what do you dislike about current solution? Like what are the challenges and what are the problems with the current solutions? And then you can ask them like, what do you want? Like, what do you think could be a better solution? And what is your wish list? And then you are going to ask like, okay, let's say if you are going to provide you such a solution, would you pay for a better solution or not? And don't pitch your own idea initially. You need to just listen. You need to be an active listener first. You're going to listen to them. And then uh, you might give them some gist of your problem. And but first you need to wrap up all the things. And then what is the validation signal for this? If the multiple people they are describing the same pain strongly, it means that yes, it's a promising sign. It means that the problem is real, and you may work on to that. Once you have done this, then you move to the step 4, which is you are going to evaluate the market demand. So you need to check that whether the market is growing or not. It might be a linear market. There are going to be obviously some competitions as well. So you are going to see that if the market is growing. And then are there competitors, and what are those competitors doing? Are they are already solving it, and how they are solving this problem, and whether the customers are paying to them or not. And it again, it depends upon the pain point, like how much is the painful that thing is. If the competition is good, it also indicates that yes, there is a demand. That's why a lot of competition is being created. A lot of companies or a lot of people are venturing into this and solving this problem. Then, once it's done, you're going to define your UVP. You're going to define that what are your unique values that you're going to bring, because there is a competition. So, why the customers they are going to buy your product and service, and for that you're going to bring some unique values in your product or service. So, what makes you different? That is really very important. So, you can use the formula that we help customers to solve a particular problem by providing this solution, unlike alternatives. So, you need to formulate your UVP based on this. And it's very important that what is the solution and how it's differentiating from your competitors. For example, we help students to secure internship faster using AI matching instead of manual searching. And here you are suggesting that we are using AI, whether probably our competitors they are not using AI and they are relying on to manual searching, which is resulting in coming up with a solution which is faster. When it's all done, now you're going to start working on to your product. So what you're going to do is you're going to build a minimum viable product, MVP. This concept was introduced by Eric Rice, and it's a simplest version of your product that can test the idea on what could be there in an MVP. So in the MVP, it could be only a landing page which you can show to your customer for the validation. It could be a Google form sign up. It could be a demo video. It can be a prototype. I generally like the idea to build a small prototype. Not generally, I do not believe that landing page could be sufficient. Yes, it gives you a good gist, but it's always a good idea to come up with a prototype, a working prototype. I mean, the implementation based prototype, and then you can have a WhatsApp based manual service. So, what's the goal? You are going to test a demand before full development. So, you are going to show your customers, okay, yeah, this is how we are going to solve your problem, and this is how it's going to look like. And based on that, you can get your feedbacks, and you can reiterate, and you can improve your product as well. Then you are going to test the willingness of your customers in terms of their willingness to pay. It's a very, very critical validation steps. So how you are going to do that? You can use different types of methods. You can start pre-ordering of your product, which is going to show like how much demand you do have. Then you can have pre-orders. You can have paid pilot programs. You can have subscription signups. Like, okay, you're not asking for pre-orders; you're asking them for the subscription. If a lot of people are coming, they are getting interested in your subscriptions. Okay, it means yes, you will be getting some traction. Or you can ask them instead of paying for full for the pre-order or something, you can ask them for an early access fee. If users say great idea, but they're not paying, it means there is some problem in your validation. It looked like, okay, yeah, the idea is good, but why the customers are not paying? So this is a big, big problem. Then you're going to measure the key matrices. One of the metrics could be that how many signups are there. So you are going to evaluate these different types of matrices. So how many signups are there? How many pre-orders are there? Much is the conversion rate? Like a unit rate. Here you have got the willingness to pay. You got the signups. How much has been converted into real buy-ins? Then you can calculate the customer acquisition cost, then retention rate, and then engagement level. Like you can even evaluate this thing on your website as well. If engagement is low, so you have to rethink problem or solution, because there could be a problem with your solution or with all the process that you have been doing. In step 9, you are going to analyze the feedback, and then you are going to iterate. So we are going to use the build, measure, and learn cycle, which is a typical lean startup cycle. So we have built something, we have built an MVP, we have measured it, and we are taking now the feedback, we are analyzing it, and then we are going to again reiterate it. So you're going to ask, what has worked? Okay, has it worked? How much has worked, which parts have worked, which part sounds interesting to the customers, and what has failed, and what confused the users. What are the areas where the users they are not taking trust, or which is creating confusion among the users? Then we are going to improve it, and then we are going to pivot or drop the idea if necessary. At the end, we are going to test the scalability, and we are going to check whether this can grow a bit beyond 50, 100 users. It might get some very early traction, and a lot of users are getting interested, but we need to see like whether it's going to be scalable or will go beyond that or not. Is the market large enough? If the market is small, then there can be a problem. And then you're going to see that can the revenue exceeds cost sustainably or not, because the revenue eventually has to exceed your cost in order you to be in the profit. So there is a quick validation checklist you need to see. Uh, Idea is strong if the problem is frequent, users actively complain, users currently spend money solving it, and then early users they show real interest, like you can see a clear interest among them, and there are users who are willing to pay, and the market is large enough. So it feels with all these positive things that your idea is strong. So you need to evaluate your ideas at least onto these things. You can come up with other checklist features as well, and you can have them incorporated. Then you need to see the red flags as well, on the warning signs. Number one and the most important is that only your friends they like the idea. Okay, you told your friend and they like the idea. Say, wow, it's really good, but no one else is buying. Well, so it means that you're not going to have the real customers. No one is willing to pay. So this is the biggest warning sign. Are okay, people are willing to pay and they like the idea, but the market is too small. It means you're not going to have much scalability, and whatever efforts you are going to do might get wasted. And then, yes, the people are saying, yeah, this is a problem, but it's not urgent, or it might not be too much painful. So again, the problem is going to be that the people they will not be willing to pay for that thing. And then high acquisition cost in order to build that idea. There is going to be a huge cost, and probably the revenues are not going to be accordingly. So now what you can do is I would recommend you to do that write one startup idea, then define its problem statement clearly, then identify target segments, and then conduct 5 customer interviews in 1 week. And then you can present validation findings. Okay, now discuss, there are three ways to start a new venture. And it does not mean like we are only talking about an entrepreneurial venture, it's general a business venture. Uh, Starting a venture from scratch. This is a typical entrepreneurial stuff. Like entrepreneurs, they create a new startup idea and build it independently. And at many occasions, they are trying to be in the new areas. I mean, they are trying to solve the problems differently. So advantages are that the, the creators, they are going to have a full creative control, and they are going to have a lot of flexibility in terms of innovation, so they can do a lot of innovation, and they are going to have high growth potential as well. But the challenges are it's highly risky, because okay, if the ideas does not got a good response, then you can have a serious problems. And then obviously the resources are very limited in these things. Then what you can do is you can just buy an existing business, and you can purchase an existing business. You can improve it, and advantages, yeah, you already got some existing customers, and you have some established operations running on, and you have some revenue coming, so you can just increase that revenue. Challenges are that you're going to obviously require a lot of high investment, and then the flexibility is going to be a bit limited because you already have some set procedures in the set market, and some specific products and services. The third could be, you can go for a franchising model. So franchising, it involves operating a business using an established brand. So this is very simple. Okay, you're not going to do too much in terms of marketing and start brand establishment and all that. So examples are restaurant chains, retail franchises, service franchises. Advantages are you already have a proven business model and the brand is widely being recognized. And what are the challenges? You have very limited autonomy. This is the biggest challenge. And then obviously you're going to pay every month or every whatever the period of time is, some amount of money to the company you have got the franchise with. Okay, thank you very much to all of you for listening, and wish you best of luck. Thank you.